Hello and welcome to another very excited episode of our bowling game. In our previous session, we looked at how we were able to move the ball across the screen from left to right. Now, in this session, we're going to look at how we can actually fire the ball towards the target. All right, so let's get straight into it. So, first of all, we are going to create a global variable. So, I'm going to just create it up here. And this variable is going to tell me the state that the ball is in. So if the ball is ready to be fired, so I'm going to call it ball state. And I'm going to make it ready. It's going to say that the ball state is ready. That means it's ready to be fired. All right. Now I'm going to create a method. Now, whenever the ball is fired, that is whenever the up arrow key is pressed, what I want to happen is that it's going to trigger this method. It's going to change the ball state from ready to fire. So we can actually know that the ball has been fired. And then we will look at the procedure that is required if the ball has been fired. So if the ball has been fired, what I want is that the X coordinate to increase. That means it's going to go up. All right. So we're going to do that. And we're going to be doing that in the main while loop of the program. All right. Because it's something that we want to do repeatedly, all right, even when other activities are going on. All right, so here we go. So our ball state is ready. So we're going to create a method, and the method that I'm going to be using for this session, for this portion, I'm going to call this method fire or fire up. So I'm going to define fire or fire up here. So let's say define. So define fire up. And what fire up is going to do is going to indicate to us that we have changed the ball state. So I'm going to just indicate here that I'm using the global ball state. Right, so Python actually allow you to use the term global, so you can stay in a method and you can define a global variable and so on. All right. So here I'm just indicating that we're using the global ball state because we could actually create a ball state variable inside here, that is local to this method. All right, but not many languages allow you to define a global variable from within a local context like this. All right, so we can set our ball state. So if the fire method has been called, what we're going to do is we're going to change the ball state to fire. All right. We can call it fire. All right, good. So it has been fired. So once the ball has been fired, what we need to do next in order to get the ball to move. So for this part, we're going to jump into our main loop. And inside here, what we're going to do is we're going to say while through. All right. All right, and the first thing we need to do is to ensure that the ball is shown, because if this is not there, it may cause your program to hang. So we're going to say ball that show turtle. Good. So start off by saying ball that show turtle. All right. Now, in order for the ball to move, what we're going to do now, we're going to check to see what the state is. So if the state is fired, if the ball state double equal fired. That means we should move the ball, right? So once the ball state is equal to fired, it means that we should actually move the ball. And we move the ball by simply getting the y coordinate of the ball. So we're going to say y is equal to ball at y coord. And what we're going to be doing next is that we're going to be incrementing the y coordinate by the ball speed, right? And that will actually move it up first. So let's look at how that is done. So we're going to see, so we're going to do our increment. So we're going to say y plus is equal to ball speed. And next we're going to say that ball that set y to y. All right, so that will increase the ball speed so that the ball will actually go up. All right, it will increase the y coordinate of the ball so that the ball goes up. All right, good. Right, this doesn't have to be here. So we'll do this, and then we will set this. All right. All right, so let's try this. Let's ensure that we have everything that we should have. So we have set our y coordinate. We got our y coordinate, and we're saying that if after increasing it, we are going to set the y. All right, set the y of the ball. So let's save this and try. Let's see what's going on. All right, so there's a little problem somewhere. Let's fix that. It's not moving here. So let's put the trace back. So let's fix this. Let's see. All right, so I want to ensure that the main loop is below the listener. So I want to just move it down so it appears below the listener. All right, so put it below here. Let's run this. So here we have it. So we can move left, move right. All right, so now I need to ensure that the keyboard binding has been done. So I need to bind my up key to the keyboard. So I'm going to say all right, so on key press, what I want to happen is I want the fire up to be called, and the trigger for that is going to be up. So let's try this now. There it is. The up is working. Now there's a slight problem. As you can see, the ball is falling off the ground, off the screen. All right, so we need to ensure that the ball stays on the screen. All right, so we will fix that. All right, so this is what we want to happen. So If the ball has been fired and it gets to the top here, what I want it to do is to come back to where it was. All right. So whenever it goes up here, it's gonna like bounce off here and get back to here. I don't want it to go through here, so I want it to bounce here and get back down here. So let's do that. All right. So let's look at where the ball is originally. All right. So we position the ball earlier at 0, -200. All right. So what we're gonna see inside here is that before we actually set the Y for the ball, we're gonna check to see if the ball goes over our desired Y coordinate. That is gonna be 250 in our case. Let's say if the Y is more than 250, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the Y to be equal to -200. Right. So we're gonna set the Y to be equal to -200. That means it's gonna send back the ball to the bottom of the screen. Right? So it's gonna send back the ball to the bottom of the screen. All right. So we are going to look at this now. All right, let me share my screen. And there you have it. So if we press up, there it is. All right. All right, so it's bouncing. We'll stop it from bouncing. All right. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Let's just stop this from bouncing up and down. All right, so we are seeing that if the Y is more than 250, all right, so if the Y is more than 250, it's gonna come back to -200. All right, and we're gonna set the Y. So what happened is that the the loop runs continuously, and what happened is that the ball state remains at fired, and because it is at fired, it keep on doing all of this. So what I want to do here, once the Y coordinate hits the 250 mark, I'm going to change the ball state and change the ball state to the ready. All right, so it's going to wait on another trigger in order to another trigger rather in order for it to actually move. So you're going to say the ball state is equal to ready. All right, so we should take care of it for now. So here we go. Let me show you my screen. So there it is. So it's now waiting. All right. So in our next session, what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at how we may go about detecting collisions. That is, whenever the ball hits one of the pins, how can we tell that? And what we want to happen is that whenever the pin is hit, that pin needs to disappear. So stay tuned. The next video, we will look at that section.